Hello. Thank you for listening and watching You Had Options. I have Dave and Matt from the podcast Four Orbs and the band South Carlen. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me.
What's up?
Do you want to drop your social medias and all the good stuff?
You want to do South Carlen first?
Sure. So you can find our band South Carlen on Instagram /South Carlen. I believe Facebook is also Facebook /South Carlen. We used to have a website, but we don't anymore because we stopped paying for it. And if you want to find any of the sweet art that I make, you can find me at Instagram at Alamo Hendrich with a CH at the end.
And then I'm Dave Cole. I'm the Dungeon Master, the host, the producer, and the composer of the Four Orbs Dungeons & Dragons actual play D&D podcast.
Boom. Hell yeah.
And then Matt's a player in it. And you can find us on mostly Twitter at Four Orbs and Instagram at Four Orbs. Reddit we have, but I don't touch it anymore because Reddit is an awful place. It's a cesspool of people.
Toxic,
Everyone's mean.
And we have Facebook, and we have everything.
Cool.
You should really probably find us on wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's probably the spot. Specifically Spotify, because Apple Podcast is garbage.
Cool.
Stones thrown.
Stones thrown. Yeah. I don't get that. But yeah, find You Had Options at You Had Options. Go buy merch at thehandsomescoundrels.com. There's a You Had Options shirt. Buy Scoundrel merch. Yeah, thank you for listening and watching.
You can handle two.
Nah, man. My ego is too big. Dave and Matthew.
Hey.
Hello.
Or Matt, sorry.
Whatever.
I call him Matt Hughes sometimes.
Matt Hughes?
I mean, people call me whatever, so you've earned the right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But only my friends call me Dave.
Really?
So you can call me Dave.
I can go. Thanks, man. Jesus. There's a lot of
sweating it there for a second.
The anticipation. I felt like I was on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, waiting for my rose. You guys are in a band.
You guys are in a band.
We're in a band too, yeah. South Carlen.
And you guys are both my bass players, and you both have the same birthday.
And we both have podcasts.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And you both have podcasts that I'm on.
I was going to bring up the birthday thing later, but you know.
Oh, God, here we go.
You're using material before.
Tell me one thing that just, irks you about Matt and your band. Because I can tell you mine.
We've once we do more shows and stuff, I'll probably pinpoint something.
Yeah, there's going to be a birthday party.
Oh, God, whatever.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
I had already made the plans with you.
Yeah.
And then Dave comes in on like a Wednesday being like, hey, I'm having a birthday party on Friday. I'm like, bro. Yeah. Come on. When it was supposed to be Saturday, which would have worked out too.
Look at Matt peeking over there on them sound waves.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Coming in hot.
That's probably the one thing you're not going to like about me.
Okay. Yeah, but
I'm boisterous.
Getting worked up about not coming to his friend's birthday party, and he'll just start yelling.
But he did go to a friend's birthday party.
Oh shit, you're right. Just not his other friends.
That's tough, man. Damn. Yeah. We'll have to coordinate better.
Next time. We'll just do it together next time.
Ooh, yeah.
Double party.
I remember as a kid, I had a joint birthday in Aladdin's Castle.
Nice.
Is that Aladdin's Castle?
No, it's not Aladdin's Castle anymore. It's just
the not the apart.
Are we talking about Pete's Party Castle?
No, we're talking about the arcade at the mall. It used to be called Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, that was the shit.
Long time ago.
DDR.
Never gonna be as happy as I was probably in that moment.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were depressed before the podcast started, and now we're depressed again.
And now I feel really old.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to watch The Vow, which isn't very uplifting. But you know, the story has to be told.
Mm-hmm.
We can get back to your intro now, though.
Oh man, no. It's just one fluid thing. There's like
It's all one big sidebar.
that's true.
But yeah, we're in a band. I play the drums and Dave plays the bass.
Mm-hmm.
It's called South Carlen,
Yeah.
named after a Mobile midtown street that we all used to live on.
Except for Kevbo.
Except for Kevbo, our lead guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, we all lived in the same duplex. Ty and I lived above Dave, and we would have band practice very easily.
Either upstairs or downstairs.
Yep.
Nobody ever blew you up about.
The neighbors were surprisingly cool, for sure.
Yeah, we always finished at 8 or so. So it was within the legal limit.
Yeah. It was really cool. One of the next door neighbors, the actual ones right next door to us, tagged us in an Instagram post one time of them in their backyard, like headbanging or something, like while they were having a grill out.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny. Like we kind of would say hey to people, but we weren't like, you know, buddy or anything. So it was just cool to get like that support from the neighbors for sure.
Yeah.
Really, when we had the Lanyap article come out when we did our first EP or one and only EP release.
Shout out Centani.
Yeah.
The Lanyap music.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a lot of people message us on Instagram after that too, being like, "Oh, it's you guys! Like, we've been hearing that music. Like, we sit outside and have like a drink on the porch when you have practice. Like, we really like it." So,
Damn.
it was very cool, a very supportive neighborhood.
If only our music was actually good.
Or there was a way for them to listen to it other than us practicing.
Yeah. Are you guys working on a new release or anything right now?
We are.
And have been.
We have
process,
been working
yeah.
on it since pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and we continued to work on it with limitations. We were all pretty, I guess, willing to quarantine. So
Yeah, we did about a 6-month like hiatus from ourselves.
Yeah.
Without even practicing, and then when we started practicing, we did it with masks for a while,
Hmm.
and we still do if like
one of us gets close to somebody that was infected.
Oh.
But yeah, we've been working on it, and recently we've had to make a move out of Matt's house to do some recording, and hopefully that's going to work out for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Do you do all the recording?
I did the EP, but because of the other topic that we haven't touched yet and my workload on that, I have pushed it to the lead singer to do the production on that. So I'm doing the engineering side of things, the hardware, but he's doing the post.
Nice.
And we'll send it off to somebody for mastering, because fuck learning how to master. Can I cuss on this podcast?
Hey man, you say whatever you want. As long as it's not, something too crazy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, don't get weird.
Don't get weird.
Unless it's the right kind of weird.
That's true. But you guys, when was the last time y'all played?
Practice or played?
No, but like show before pandemic.
It was the New Year's Eve 2020 show.
Yep. So we started off 2020 by killing 2020.
Yeah, we killed it too. We were the Midnight Band at Merry Widow, and I had a blast. It was a good crowd. It was cool for it to be like New Year's and 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. But yeah, that was it. And then 2 months later, everything went to shit. And then, as you kind of know, we were going to play our first show back before Hurricane Ida came through and threw everything off course. And after that, we were just kind of like, yeah, fuck it. We're just going to pack our shit and go home, and we're just going to work on the album and try and come back out swinging the way we want to.
Ooh, that's cool. Wait, so a full length?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice.
Next goal is a full length. We will probably do a separate song from the album that'll be a single.
Yeah.
We're testing the waters with it to mostly test recording in general. And if the recording process and mixing goes well and we send it off to mastering to pay somebody, then we'll probably release it as a single. But that one song won't be on the album if we do.
Ooh. A sort of treat.
Yeah, and definitely the album and the single is probably a huge distance away from what our EP is. So
How so?
It's just not the same music.
Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely started to find ourselves, as bands like to say.
You sound like a real musician, man.
Right?
It's taken forever.
Yeah, I mean, we all had like our goals with the band, and we recently, I think, would say that we've unspokenly compromised with each other for certain things and aspects.
I feel you.
So we're growing together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when did the EP come out?
2017?
Oh,
18?
4 years.
Dude, it's crazy sometimes to like think of how long we've been playing together and how little we've accomplished. But we've done some cool stuff. I don't know. We played Nashville. That was fun. Sleeping in like a red roof inn together.
Hell
Hoping
yeah.
we make it out alive, you know.
Yeah, man.
Show was rough, but we did it.
Same, man. He's got to. I've come to find out you just got to eat shit
Yeah.
forever.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It's just a different level of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly less shitty shit.
Yeah. And every now and then you find that kernel of corn.
It's true.
You ate too many tacos. It lasted for like a week. Just corn.
All corn.
All corn.
Oops,
I like to put corn in my tacos.
Oops, all corn. Yeah. Street corn? Or just straight up corn?
Kerneled corn. Whatever you're trying to say, I guess.
Oh, he said street
Street
corn.
corn.
That's like
That's
a thing now.
yeah.
But that's like, I thought street corn was like on the cob, like slathered in like a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I thought that's what street corn was.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like to put, like, take a can of corn
Straight
and
up.
just put it in the ground beef. Along with some black beans and some peppers and, you know.
That's interesting.
And make a whole smorgasbord of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. But the other subject.
The other
We
subject.
can talk about the other subject. You guys also have a podcast.
We do. And, you know, I'm just watching your sound waves over there as I see Matt start to talk, and I'm just like, man,
Oh, man.
I forget how I have to run a compressor on everything that Matt does.
We'll get it in post, man.
Yeah, we run a podcast, Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast.
Okay.
I'm the dungeon master
Hell yeah.
and the producer
Damn.
and the composer. It's 99% of the music in the podcast is something I've created
From scratch?
from scratch,
Jesus.
virtually composing.
Wow. What's the podcast called?
It is called Four Orbs, so FOUR space orbs.
What's the significance of Four Orbs?
They are mystical
Okay.
objects in the story that control the balance of the world. So if they were to break, then the world would fall apart.
Oh shit.
At least that's the quote unquote lore.
Nice. So these are only in your story.
Yes, this is okay. You're gonna get me ranting, man.
I'm not a big D&D guy, so
All right, so let me run D&D for you.
yeah. Elevator.
So D&D, they have a whole lot of stuff for people that aren't really interested in creating their own world to just, you know, jump into a map, do their thing, and then have fun.
Yeah.
I, though, when I was 15, was living in the Bible Belt, and my parents thought that the Dungeons and Dragons was the devil.
Hell
So
yeah.
I wasn't allowed to own the Dungeons and Dragons books.
Hell yeah.
So to compensate for the fact that I wasn't allowed to own the books and read the books, I created my own world.
Damn.
So, you know, Game of Thrones, he created his world. Harry Potter, it was England, but, you know,
Right.
there's all that. And then, you know, The Wheel of Time, Shadow and Bone, all these, like, fantasy stories that are now getting some, you know, some traction in the media.
Yeah.
They all did something called world building. And I did the same at 15, and I'm now 33, and I've been working on it ever since.
Damn. The same
Same world.
story?
Same world.
Jesus.
Not the same story. The
Same world. Gotcha.
And there's, you know, 4 ages of thousands of years in this timeline, and then there's a lot that goes into it.
Okay. So do you just remember like
Yeah.
stuff that's already happened?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, Matt's real bad at remembering things.
I'd be the same way, man.
I should not be the main character.
Yeah, he likes to think he's the main character in this story, but they're all really important.
I mean, I like to think we're all there together. We're a team, you know. That's the whole thing.
Matt's character's just part of a bloodline.
Oh.
I can also hold these mystical objects.
Oh.
But
he can deactivate them.
but I think that I'm the only one that can hold them.
What? Is this?
You just gotta listen, man.
It's true. I guess so.
We released episode 102 today.
How often do y'all put them out? Every 2 weeks?
Normally every 2 weeks. The last episode 100, 101, and 102 were all weekly releases.
Oh.
And how long have we been doing the podcast, too?
Man,
It's also been a crazy long time.
Thinking about that, but December 1st, 2016.
So also a very long time.
6 years in December.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's a lot of work, too.
I bet. Sounds like it.
Well, it's a lot of work on my end.
Yeah, I don't do much. It's a lot of playtime on Mondays for me.
On occasional Mondays.
So, you do all this stuff. Did everybody else just shows up and?
For the longest time, everyone just showed up and
Yeah.
played. Recently, though, one of the other players has taken on some of the editing. So when it comes to editing the podcast, like if you're not into Dungeons and Dragons, it's fine because we don't really talk about the rules that often.
Yeah.
I cut all that bullshit out. It's really focused on just, in like the back in the radio days, they had audio dramas.
Yeah.
The idea is to turn your Dungeons and Dragons game into an audio drama.
Ooh, I like that.
So-
the worlds, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I would say two of the players have character voices.
Okay.
And then I run all the NPCs, the non-playable characters.
Yeah.
And I have an assortment of voices I go through.
Okay.
It's pretty funny.
The one that really took people by surprise early on, I think he shows up around episode 8, is this frog man called a bullywug, and his name is Balulabub.
Can you give us a demo of?
Yeah. So first, I had to train myself, and the way I
Okay.
trained myself was very important because it's a very difficult
Study
thing
dogs
to try.
or study
So
frogs? Yeah.
I took a clothespin and I put it on the tip of my tongue, like pinched it on the tip of my tongue, and I kept my tongue out, and then I talked. And I talked like this in a mirror for a while, and then eventually I took the clothespin off, and I could hold my tongue in that position. So he sounds like this. Hi, I'm Balulabub.
Okay. Nice.
So I go through voices like
I
that.
like it.
What's another voice? Chisholm
Chisholm is one. Also the pedestrian to equestrian guy that
Oh God, you can't even understand.
he's basically
him.
I like that name.
worse boomhauer.
Wait, pedestrian to equestrian?
Yeah.
That's the name of the place where we always rent our like horse and buggy.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And he
Damn it, that's good. You need to make a pedestrian to equestrian shirt. Sell it.
It's funny you say that. Pedestrian to equestrian, as they travel through the lands, eventually come across a very large pedestrian to equestrian stable, and out front is a bronze statue of a pony with a trucker hat on and a t-shirt, I think I said.
Whatever.
And then inside was just this glorious tourist trap of a place.
Yeah.
There you go.
Caravans aren't allowed in there.
Yeah.
Ode to Bucky's. Yeah.
Ode to Bucky's,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you have shirts or anything?
No.
What?
So I have been working on some designs, and I have a handful.
Yeah.
But we still haven't done anything with them. I guess I don't
I
know.
don't think you've sent them to me, bud.
Well, I didn't know I had to send them to you.
Well, I mean, how do you want? Do you want me to handle it, or do you want to do it?
No. I think I need you to like start a Redbubble account or whatever, and then just give me the information.
All right.
But I have at least like 5 designs. That's where I've been trying to step up, and it's really been the past couple months that I've really been trying to do that.
Yeah, it's funny that what I told him was if he would just run the Redbubble or the Threadless or whatever those websites are called,
yeah.
he could just have all the money.
It's not about money for me, man.
What is it about? The passion, the love?
The cause.
The cause.
For aces.
That's the name of the world, is Aces.
Oh, for aces.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, all right, races. Yeah. Hey, man, I feel you. It's crazy out there. So you'll have 6 people at a time playing the game?
Yeah, 6 including me.
Okay. And you're a character, right?
I am all characters except their characters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's like the guy that runs the general store that I may go
okay.
try and buy something from, or or he's like my captain or something at some point if I'm in like, you know.
And we have had a lot
castle
of
or-
guests on as well. I think I counted once. Last time I counted, we've had 32 voices on the podcast.
Oh, 32 like different
Individual
people. Yeah.
There was this one episode. It doesn't have a number. It's after episode 85. It's called Missing Links, the Equilibrium. And Missing Links is like a category of episodes for us.
Oh, like an extra.
Yeah, so it's like an extra thing.
single
So we
off or
have
something.
Missing Links and then cutscenes. And Missing Links are more like scripted audio dramas,
Okay.
whereas cutscenes are guested one-shots of the game.
Okay.
And they can also happen often in different timelines of the world. This specific episode, Missing Links, the Equilibrium, happened 725 years before their story.
Okay.
And it is an hour and 15 minutes long. 67 of those minutes has all composed music by me.
Jesus.
And I want to say there's 18 guest podcasters on there that all read the
okay.
scripts. And so it's like, it was an endeavor. Like it
bet.
took like 6 months to plan. And then
Get everybody to record stuff.
I had a friend that's in another podcast. Shout out to Diana of the Multi-Class Theater podcast. She helped me with the script. She was very needed for this project. She like has done script writing in the past, and so she helped me. Like I would write something up, and then she would make it actually read well.
Yeah.
So she was very much needed. But there was 17 or 18 scenes. So all of them had different scripts.
Damn, dude.
And most of the time, I want to say almost all the recordings, except for maybe a few, they were like, I sent people the scripts and they just read the lines at home
Okay.
instead of reading with somebody.
Ooh, okay.
And so, and even with that happening, like the flow is really well done. And then a friend of Matt's that's also become a friend of mine via the internet, Aram Varchian of the God's Fall podcast, did the narration as if he was like reading if you're reading an Audible book or something.
Oh, okay. Do you do like Foley work and sound effects and stuff?
I have done some Foley work myself, but there are so many catalogs out there nowadays where you could
Just get whatever.
Yeah, you can just license them or just credit them appropriately. And then there's this one application called Sirenscape where they have, was originally designed for people that were just playing D&D at home, not podcasting or anything, but the DM could like click a scene and it would just run like a loop of an ambience. And it like was randomly generated the noises that happen in it.
Yeah.
So it's never repeating. And so I have that, and they allow people to record as long as they're credited and everything. I have to pay them though.
That's cool. Damn.
There's a lot to it.
It sounds like it.
There's a series recap at episode 40. So if you want to jump 40 episodes to where we actually figure out what we're kind of doing, that's a good place to start for some people.
People also like the Three Dwarves Down cutscene. That's got Chris Cole and
Andy Lawless.
Andy Lawless. And what's the other?
Haircut
Kevin
Richardson.
McKee.
Oh yeah, our lead guitarist Kibbo.
Yeah. Nice.
And it's kind of like a Three Stooges style. They're super funny, man.
It's a Three Stooges style prison break.
Okay.
And it's called Three Dwarves Down because they're all playing dwarves.
Okay. I like it.
And it got named, the episode got named by Chris Cole, I think, before we actually started playing. And then he like organically brought it up in the episode to make it really concrete. And so now all cutscenes are named after bands.
That's pretty
so
good.
we have Panic at the Pawn Shop. We have Men Without War.
Okay.
We have Three Dwarves Down.
Yeah.
And then we have, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I can't remember them all. There's Yinkin Park. There's a city called Yin in the park, so I just changed the Lincoln Park to Yinkin Park.
Wow, I think you guys would leave money on the table without making Three Dwarves Down and Pedestrian to Equestrian's great.
Well, he also always has these really great like tavern like inn names that we always like stay at when we hit a town.
Yeah.
And one of our companions is like he's the bard, so he's always playing music.
Right.
So he'll immediately is like gets on stage, tries to play music to get free room and board or whatever. And they're like the sloppy slug. It's always like an alliteration of adjective and animal or something. And so one day I really want to do like a tour style T-shirt of this bard named Dorith. And then the back is just all of these taverns that we've like passed through our time. I think it would be pretty cool.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
But we're not at the end yet, so.
It's getting there. I think there's like 20 more episodes before the campaign's over.
Oh, so how many campaigns have you done on
Successfully?
the show? Or just, yeah, finished.
So podcast-wise, this is the only one we've ever started. I want to say before the podcast, we've completed 2 campaigns.
So what happens when the campaign's done? Just new one? You think of a new one?
Yeah, think of a whole new storyline and go for it.
Wow. Yeah. So since you said you're making this is all you, like the story and all that stuff, and when somebody
it's collaborative,
right? Yeah. But I'm saying like as a dungeon master, when somebody rolls, you've already got like, oh, you miss or whatever.
Yeah. So say you're fighting a dragon.
Yeah.
For the sake of my story, there's no dragons in my world. But either way, so it's
very
Dungeons
controversial.
It's Dungeons and. It's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's Dungeons and. But if you were fighting a dragon, there is a book called the Monster Manual. Okay. And in the Monster Manual, they have all these different colored dragons. And there is something called an armor class, an AC. And he would roll a die with his bow, and then he would add the attack bonus that his bow has to the die, to the d20, and then whatever the number is either got to be above the AC. It's got to be above the AC to hit. So if he rolls a 20 and the AC is 21, he misses, and his turn's over.
So what if he hits it, though?
If he hits it, then he rolls a different set of die for damage.
Oh, okay.
And then...
and if you don't hit it, then it's just like, oh, you swing and cut your dick
you
off.
shot over the dragon.
And if you roll a natural 20, where you just land on that 20, it's called a crit or a critical. And then that's when the fun happens.
And there's also when you roll a 1, and it's a critical miss.
That sucks, but it's generally fun as well.
Yeah. What makes a critical miss different than a just normal miss?
So it's a controversial thing.
Oh, controversy.
There is a lot of people in the TTRPG community, tabletop role-playing game.
Okay, thank you.
There's a lot of people in the TTRPG community that think that punishing your players with a critical miss is kind of rude. And I can believe that. I can get behind it.
What camp are you in?
I like that there is usually some sort of minor repercussion. Yes, they're heroes, and yes, they're pretty flawless in most of the things they do, but those crit misses can really make some, like, the fun in D&D is not winning.
It's the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. However you made those friends, which should include some really big mishaps, should happen. So, like, for example, our gnome, Dorth, that he was mentioned, he's a bard. At one point, they figured out that for some reason he only weighed 1 pound.
Okay.
For some reason, they couldn't figure it out for the longest time, but for some reason he only weighed 1 pound. And I want to say Matt's character was at the bottom of a staircase, and then another guy's character was at the top of the staircase, and then Dorth was at the bottom, and the staircase was very icy, and Dorth was having a hard time getting up the stairs. So Matt was just like, I'll throw you up there. And then he tried to throw this little gnome that weighed 1 pound up the staircase, but he rolled a crit miss. So the gnome just hit the stairs, took some damage, and then slid back down to Matt. And the damage part is the crit miss. Whereas, like, if it wasn't a complete miss, like if it wasn't a critical miss, then Matt could have just slipped and then fell out of his hand, and he just didn't do it. But the damage is where the crit miss comes in.
Wait, did you know the gnome as dungeon master? Did you know that the gnome was 1 pound?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I don't remember when they figured out that he was 1 pound. It just took them a while to figure out why, and I don't think they figured out in game.
Yeah, I don't think we ever figured it out in game. I think out of game we all kind of knew when it happened. We just went along with it, which is usually my favorite part is the role playing part.
Yeah. So like I don't think they had the reasoning of why he weighed 1 pound.
Yeah.
either in game or out of game for the longest time. And then once they figured it out of game, they couldn't organically bring it up in game. And then at some point there was a reason that he was no longer 1 pound.
Okay.
But those are the kind of things that I held on to. So I think it like happened in episode like 16 or something. And then they figured out he was 1 pound in episode 23 or something like that. And then I think it was after one of our live shows at Alchemy Tavern where Ryan was looking at me and was like, I think I figured out why he's 1 pound. And then I was like, yeah, you figured it out. But he couldn't bring it up organically in game because there's never a reason for his character to like lift the gnome.
Let me just let me size you up.
And at some point he basically gets cured, I guess you could
Of
say.
being 1 pound?
Yeah.
How's that happen? How'd you get cured of being, oh wait.
Guess you gotta listen to find
Yeah, I don't
out.
know if I'm allowed
Damn
to
it.
spoil it.
I'm teased now. So you said tabletop. So do you have like an entire like setup in front of you?
We have the sickest like Knights of the Round table ever.
All right, so funny story.
Please.
First up, when we first started, we had 3 tables that were put together to create a very weird shaped circular situation. We all have mics on mic stands and headphones and all that stuff. At some point, I was like, man, I really wish all these wires were hidden some way. And I thought about it. And usually in Dungeons & Dragons, people have grid boards on the table. And
you move like
characters around for combat.
10 grids or whatever.
So me and a friend, Andy Lawless, that was recently mentioned about 3 Doors Down.
Yeah.
He helped me construct a little like elevated table. And it looks pretty sick. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, it looks nice. I remember you painted it at the South Carlen house.
Yeah, so it was stained like a certain wood color, and then like I took a bunch of tape and made 1-inch lines. Like the tape was covering up 1 inch, but then there was like a little empty negative space between the tape. And so I spray painted it black, and then I did it the opposite way to make the grid. And then I did on top of that spray paint and the stain, I did a clear lacquer, so that everything was protected. And yeah, it turned out pretty nice. Eventually, I want to get like a whole like custom setup, and when I do, I'll probably give that whole board away to somebody on Twitter for like a Twitter rally thing or something.
So
Twitter
stay
giveaway.
tuned.
So stay tuned on Twitter. Follow Four Orbs. But eventually, what happened? I think it was during COVID. Actually, a friend's mom had this really large round dining table that I had been eyeing for like
Solid wood.
I've been eyeing that table for probably 10 years
For D&D purposes?
just to have
okay.
in general. I mean, it's a nice table.
Yeah.
And she replaced that table at home, and she was just going to put it out on the road. And I was like, no, you're not putting that out on the road. I will take it. And her dad made it like 40 years ago for that.
She was just going to throw it away?
And she was just going to put it on the road. Don't know why. And then she replaced it with a table that is pretty similar in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know why you're getting rid of this, but I'll take it.
I have her dining table before that table too. It's glass.
Damn. I'm just going through dining tables.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you a picture of it later. I mean, the podcast won't be able to see it, but
Yeah.
unless you want to put it on the screen or something, I guess you'll do that.
I'll post it on the gram.
We should have brought like pictures on like poster board.
Like in a trial.
Yeah.
You put all the shit on poster boards. So how feet wise, like how big is the table now that you have?
I want to say it's 7 feet round. So
It's
7
a
feet diameter.
round table, yeah.
And then 5 of them sit on one half of it. And then there's me with my whole screen and set up on the other side.
Okay.
So it seats 8. And so there are 5 on one seat on one side. And then me in between on the other side.
Has it been the same people throughout the whole show? And
It has.
That's cool.
And fortunately, none of their characters have died.
Can a character die?
Oh, yeah.
What happens?
They
Just fuck?
In a like casual game at home, they would probably just remake a character.
Okay. Wait, is there competitions?
He just means not like a podcast.
Yeah,
I got you. Oh,
like
okay,
if it's not being recorded. But I told them like straight
League
up.
play.
Well, there is actually. There's called the Adventures League, and
wow.
it is a kind of a competitive D&D play. But I've never done it.
Wait,
Yeah, I subscribe to this. It's not about winning theory.
yeah, if like
I
you're
don't know how it
the
works.
dungeon master or whatever, like how are they not?
It seems
no,
biased.
I don't think. Yeah, unless they follow like a
Strict code of conduct.
like a D&D book or whatever.
So yeah, so in Adventures League, they're for sure playing like Wizards of the Coast modules. Wizards of the Coast is the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
They're the people that make Magic the Gathering.
Fuck, man, they
They are now owned by Hasbro.
damn,
Hasbro got that stranglehold on everything,
man,
man.
dude.
But yeah, so Adventures League, I've never done it. I don't really know the details, but basically, like they play strict rules. They play the D&D modules, and I'm guessing the competitive play is like who can finish it first.
Oh, weird.
I don't really know, but like the way Adventures League works is kind of cool in the sense of like if you wanted to play for the first time. So like say your local comic book shop has a D&D game going on that's Adventures League based, and they're like deep in the story already. That doesn't matter. The way that it's run is like you have just always existed if you want to play.
Ah, okay.
So it's not like you have to be introduced into the story and all this. You're just along for the ride. But in the podcast format, that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to fall in love with the characters. And then I did tell them before we started that if they did die, if their character died, they would be recasted. Because for the podcast's sake, if you came back as a different character, your voice would still be, leaning towards that character, and it would mess with the listeners in my head. So
Yeah.
I would have to either fill the slot with somebody else or just they go on without you.
Damn, it's Cutthroat.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's gotten close a couple times, I think.
Yeah, he keeps looking over here because he wishes he killed me one time.
Yeah.
But it was kind of early on, and like I don't know, maybe
I
he's
felt
like
bad for him.
I don't know. That's where I get back to like I was trying to play my character, and it's about these magical items, and like basically my whole like thing is like these orbs overall. And so I was trying to play that card, and I guess I played it a little too hard in a spot where I should have taken the hint.
In video games, when you meet the big bad evil guy for the first time, the BBEG, and you're like, oh man, I'm getting wrecked. There's no way I can win this because you're not supposed to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he met the big,
I tried to win it.
he tried to win
No.
the very first time he met the big
It's
bad
just
evil guy.
it's
I was like, this is it. This is the end of the game. Let's go.
just a puncher's luck, man. You just need one good shot.
Yeah.
Had you played Dungeons and Dragons before the show?
I've never played until I met Dave, and I've never played in another game that wasn't run by Dave.
Yeah.
And I prefer it that way. It's where I'm comfortable. I have all I know is Dave's version of D&D. And
Okay.
at this point, I feel like it would be weird to play any other version,
Yeah. Had most of the other people played before?
So Ryan Tomlinson is the one that has probably played, not probably, he's played in every single one of my campaigns I've ever run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so ever since I think I ran my first one when I was 17, senior year in high school, and he was there. And then in college, I only played at home when I was here on weekends, and so he was always on that one. And then whenever I moved back home in general, he was in every game. So I think he's been in literally every one of my campaigns.
Damn.
I always sit next to him so he can do my math.
Yeah, Matt's not very good at adding 5.
Dude, that's
to
one thing
10.
they don't tell you about playing this game is you got to be quick with the math.
The math, yeah.
And I am not that guy.
You don't have to be quick for the podcast because I will edit out the silence.
Look, the point is
I
I'm
just
sitting
need-
there with all of these eyes watch me try and do simple math that I know I can't do quickly. So the pressure is on.
All I need is a solid dice roll with no other sound going on, and then a solid 28 damage, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, so the person, you have to say your damage.
Well, yeah, because we want the people to at least think that I'm doing math. We don't want them to hear every time, Ryan, what is this?
Yeah, there's a blooper in today's episode that released of Ryan explaining to Matt his character and how it works.
Man, that'd be me too. I'd be the same way, Matt.
Dude, there's so many little rules and stuff to like memorize. It's not always in your face. Like, we play like, you know, like we're saying, like once a week, maybe once every other week. I don't know. I don't read the books and study them, I guess.
The comment about it not being in his face, he wrote it down on his paper that Ryan was trying to explain to him. It's like, it's right there. You wrote it there.
But there's so many things written down there. So many things. So many little numbers to keep track of, all these little bonuses and stuff. You know, the more levels you get, the more little things you get, which is fun, until you try to apply it all and remember it all. And
damn, dude.
I don't know. I'm just not that guy.
So a lot of people like high-level play, but
not me.
People that
Same
are
way.
like very timid on mechanics and rules, it's not good to try and learn D&D at high levels. Like, there's so many things that you have to like be able to do, and like the encounters that they're designed for like high level play is designed thinking you're going to do all those things,
right.
But if you don't do them, then you know.
Yeah, I just see Matt sitting at the table with a beautiful mind, like numbers going all around him.
That and some drool running down like the side of my mouth, you know. Like,
but a misconception though about D&D is that the DM is against the players.
Are you omnipotent? Are you just like not?
It's more like you're a referee.
Oh, okay.
So like I want to like create an encounter that will challenge them, and sure, I'm going to do some attacks that seem like it's, you know, mean. That why would you do this, Dave? But I mean, you want that thrilling story of like danger, drama, and you know, action. And if everything's just a walk through the park, then you know, what's entertaining about that?
It's true.
And so, you know, a lot of people think that.
Yeah, he made his wife lose all of her gear.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, they
cold-blooded.
They were in a shipwreck, and she didn't save her stuff, and all of it's gone. He almost lost the orbs that he had collected.
Oh god, wow. It's nerve-wracking.
Are they orbs in the sense of the Four Orbs?
Yes.
Or they're different orbs? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the current campaign, he's on a journey to collect the orbs.
Yeah. Which has been kind of fun. I don't know. I guess we can kind of talk about how that's going, right? Like, that's not too much of a spoiler.
Well, I mean, so there's a lot of spots that I try to have the story have moments where new listeners can just try us out.
I gotcha, yeah.
Episode 100 is one of those moments. So Matt is by himself at the beginning of it, and the other 4 players had to make new characters for some reason. I'm not going to say why, because that'll be a big spoiler.
Gotcha.
But they had to make new characters at episode 100, and then Matt met these new characters, and today that story arc kind of ends. So 100 through 102 is like a small 3-episode story arc with Matt's character, and then 4 new characters that the normal players play.
That's cool.
And basically what happens is he's jumping through time to collect the orbs.
Wow. Yeah, so we're on the second time jump right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's fun. Honestly, I've loved seeing the people that we've been playing with so long, like, do different people now. I don't know. Just like some really good moments, man.
Can I play something into the microphone? Will it work from my phone?
Yeah.
Because there's this one scene that I actually captured of Ryan Tomlinson's character.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get him a beer,
Can I get up? Is it going to ruin anything?
No, move the mic.
Okay, because I got to pee.
Yeah.
Well, this won't take me, but so I got to download. But while he's gone, I guess I can play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was this moment where Ryan Tomlinson's character, whose name is Churdnar.
Okay.
He's a druid.
Yeah.
And druids have this ability to wild shape into an animal.
Okay.
And this is the moment where he reveals that what he's going to do.
You guys are going to see Churdnar, at the end of his last turn, he fell sitting down to the ground. So you're going to see him say, Churdnar! And And his face is going to start elongating, and wings are going to sprout out of his back. And I'm going to cast wild. I'm going to use wild shape to turn into a giant bat.
Okay.
And
like
so I named that file Churdnar is just a Pokemon. Because he just said his
Morphed.
name.
Yeah.
And then
Churdnar. Have people been playing the same characters? Like, I guess, well, it's been one campaign, you said. for
so
the
yeah,
show.
usually like a campaign is a story that starts at, in my opinion, a campaign starts at level 1 and goes until the story completes itself. And so usually a campaign is there's one centric bad thing happening in the world, and they're trying to resolve that bad thing. There'll be side quests along the way, character development with their own story arcs and stuff like that. And so there's distractions along the way, just like in Skyrim. You jumping around, there's a main story quest, but man, you really want to deliver that box of beer to a tavern that's across the world,
right?
Just to get that extra little bit of gold. And so that they get distracted like that sometimes. But so this campaign, they're playing these characters, and once the campaign's over, they'll never play them again.
Dang.
At least not in my world, they won't. Because we'll jump to another point in time, where another bad thing's happening.
Okay, so
I mean, there's usually not two like world-destroying things happening at the same time.
Same time, yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's, Earth.
Yeah. That's true. What was I going to say? Damn.
Have you ever played?
Like once, maybe.
Maybe.
But I'm not a board, like, because now board games are getting more popular among like adults. And so I'll go to parties and they'll be like, let's play Settlers of Catan. Yeah, I'm just like,
I like that one too.
I tried to play that and I'm just like, I can't do this.
One of my favorites is this one called Betrayal on the House of the Haunted Hill or something like that.
Oh.
And it's an interesting game where you create the board with tiles as you move and explore a mansion. And at the beginning, you're all on a team.
Yeah.
And as you uncover these omens and things happen, and you roll dice as you discover omens, if your dice roll is lower than the amount of omens that have been discovered, then a event happens. And that's whenever a traitor is picked. And then the traitor gets a book, and then the rest of the team, like rest of the table, gets another book. And depending on the omen that was revealed, the place it was revealed, and something else, it determines the scenario that's being played. And I think there's like 98 scenarios that can happen. And so the traitor has their own set of rules and their goal, and then the players have their own set of rules and goal, and you finish out based off of those. So it's an interesting one in my opinion.
What are some other? Is there like a working in an office building one?
I don't know if there is, but
there's gotta be.
Sure there's one. Like I went to GenCon in 2019, which is
GenCon?
It's a board game convention.
Okay.
It's kind of a big deal to the D&D community.
For sure. Yeah.
But like their expo hall is all board games. And it's all like people that are in the middle of creating their board game, or it's been developed and it's selling well, so here we are. If it's not in your board game shop at home, it's an expo of board games. And I didn't realize that it was an expo of board games when I went, because I thought it was like a D&D focused one. But going and seeing that expo hall, like I want to go back now with $1,000 and just buy all the board games.
Okay.
There are so many cool board games that they just let you try.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I kind of like that. I'm going to buy this. And there's a lot of like cheap ones too, like $10 ones that are like they have a lot of stuff going on that's like Jenga thought process. Like it's a simple game where you build something up on a table and then when it falls, it's done. So like, you remember those like blocks you got when you were a kid, that like wooden blocks in a bucket?
Yeah.
and some of them were triangles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made a Jenga version of that.
Oh.
Where like you have to position them in a weird way to make it balance properly. Cool. And it was like $10. And I was like, man, I don't have $10 because I spent all this money just to get here. So I'm just going to play it here for 10 minutes and then maybe buy it when I get home.
Yeah.
And I forgot the name of it, so I never bought it. So,
but if you're out there listening,
send a promotional copy.
I want to say it was like a gray and orange design, very like Tronish, but just orangey neon.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the name of it.
Makes me feel like we should develop a board game.
I've got an idea. It's different properties, and everybody's a different. Like I'll say a thimble, a car, a battleship, an iron, and the person that you move from spot to spot, and you can buy the property that you land upon.
If we could just pitch like a different version of that, like obviously we're going for Monopoly feel there.
Is that already a game?
I think so. But I don't know. Like there could be one that was like venues, and you could be like a different like instrument or something. I don't know, or a van.
Ooh, Monopoly.
Yeah.
I will say that there's a lot of things I'm doing outside of the podcast that I'm trying to develop to potentially do, but they're all like 5% done.
Okay. Do you
one of the things that I actually have started was a board game.
I didn't know that. Or if you did, then it was in one ear and out the other a long time ago.
I have a journal that is dedicated to just the Four Orbs board game and going through rules and design and trying to create it in my head and design it first before trying to put it to pieces and made of cardboard and stuff. But yeah, I have like 4 things going on that are like that.
Yeah.
For the sake of orbs.
All
stuff.
4 orbs.
Yeah.
What do you make like the little pieces?
Miniatures?
Miniatures, yeah.
I don't. That is a 3D printing job, and I don't care to learn that.
Yeah.
Steven, who plays Keth the Giant Slayer in our podcast, he is a 3D printer person. And he's done some prints for us, but also my wife, who's in the podcast, who plays Astra, Deidre, her brother has a 3D printing company, and he's given us a lot of stuff.
Oh, damn.
But he's actually converted his 3D printing company to a company called the MIDI something. I'll have to look it up. But he basically makes MIDI controllers now.
Oh, that's cool.
He's made some really cool looking ones too. Very sleek.
Yeah. What do they look like?
I think it's the MIDI Master on Instagram or something like that.
MIDI Master.
MIDI Modeler. I don't remember. He just kind of started that branding up on Instagram recently and switching his company over from making like Etsy stuff to just straight up MIDI. I think he sold like 200 MIDI controllers in the year 2020.
Damn.
And like the lowest price is like $60 or something.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, the MIDI Maker.
MIDI Maker.
This is one of them he made.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And it's supposed to just be plug and play into any DAW.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he can program specific ways to like go to specific, what's the C word for something? It's not channel, but it's something else. I don't remember. But he can program it in specific ways to make it custom for you.
Ooh.
That's cool.
I like it. Matt, do you have anything going on?
Not personally. I was going to say that he kind of touched on the fact that we'd done live shows before.
Oh, right.
And so that was something that the kind of COVID thing ruined, because we had done an annual live show for the first 2 or 3 years.
Weirdly, it's a blessing to me.
And yeah, well, it's a blessing to him. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely nerve-wracking, but it was always fun. Like, then that was the one time we would ever actually like all be together, dress up as our characters. And then we would always do it upstairs Alchemy, and always had a decent turnout, I feel like, surprisingly enough, too, for a live D&D showing on a weekend, you know. Like,
I went to one of them. I think I went to the second one. Nice. Must have been the second one.
Was it the Independence Day, or not Independence Day, National Treasure one?
Yeah, I think that there was a circus one, and there was like a Nick Cage one.
It must have been the Nick Cage one, yeah.
Or there was the Clue one.
There was a Clue one, yeah.
We did the movie Clue.
Maybe it was Clue.
I won that one.
Did you get a bunch of pieces in a bag?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Clue one.
See, so the first year, we all got really drunk, and I spilled my beer all over my notebook of notes.
Oh no!
And so then the second year, I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I didn't
Laminated
drink
the
at all.
notes. Oh.
And so Dave gave all of us a shot when we got on stage, and everyone drank their shot but me. And so then at the end of that, it was basically the shot
Yes.
was like poison.
I remember now.
And so I was actually the only one still alive at the end of it because I hadn't had anything to drink yet. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was more nervous on my wedding day than I was doing our first live show.
Different than playing like a show.
Yeah.
It's vastly
I
different.
bet.
Because I mean,
Can't hide behind that bass.
yeah, can't hide behind the bass, can't behind the noise of the band. Yeah, I was in that cover band in Mobile Yesterday Tomorrow for a little bit, and we played the very first show Yesterday Tomorrow played. I think was the first show I played on bass. I don't think I played my first show with South Carlen. I think I played my first bass show with Yesterday Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I was not good at handling everything that I needed to do as a bassist.
Oh, okay.
One of those things was tuning between standard tuning and drop D.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a song that we had to play that I tuned to drop D. And then I said, I'm good. And then I played the entire song with the tuner on and no sound coming out of the bass. It was so loud in the place, I was like, I have to be playing something. And I don't know who... I don't think anyone told me, but I don't think anyone was they were probably weirded out, like, where's the low end?
Yeah.
But they saw me doing things,
Yeah,
so they were
yeah.
just like, there's a sound problem. Chris Cole messed this up somehow, probably. And then nope, it was just me with my pedal, with my tuner still on. And then I think I looked to Chris Cole, who was on the other side of the stage, like, I just played that whole song with my tuner on.
Damn, dude. You like to be in tune, man.
Yeah, that was the most
Is that a cry?
embarrassing thing I've ever done on stage, probably. And I don't know if it got caught completely with all the drunk crowd.
I'm sure,
I don't think
man.
anyone in that crowd had any idea, dude.
Wait a second.
I'm trying to remember what song it was, too. It was a song I actually didn't even like playing, so.
There you go.
That's a cover band, right?
I think it was an Under Oath song.
Damn. Yeah. Nerves are high. First show as a bass player, trying to tune, and you're just like, okay, I'm good. Yeah, I get that.
I was a little nervous this past weekend. First show with you guys.
Yeah.
You told me your show went well.
Yeah, it's
I was
fun.
telling him I didn't have too much time to get nervous because as soon as I got there, I built up my kit, and then as soon as I finished building the kit, it was time to put it on the stage.
Yeah, man.
But and that's one thing I think Dave's probably seen more too. But I know Rob at some point at the end was like, "Where are you?" But I'm usually anxious the entire day leading up to a show, and then for like the first 30 minutes after the show, 30 minutes to an hour, I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Okay.
So I'm basically like outside, just like sick, like sweaty, trying to
I get that.
I weirdly don't get that stage fright anymore with a band. But fucking D&D, you put me behind a DM screen and a microphone and no other noise,
It's all you, man.
it's all me. And all of them are waiting for me to cue them on things. I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, everyone's waiting on you for that. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's not like usually like once we get through that first song, I'm good. But I think just towards the end, like because I've been so amped for so long, and then really worked myself up into like a sweaty frenzy, that like I just like it's so hard for me to calm down. And then usually I'm like so tired at the end of the night too when I finally lay down. But when I do lay down, I just can't go to sleep for like another hour.
Yeah, man.
I just lay there, my mind just won't shut down. Show days are weird days in my life.
I get that. You get all frothed up, work yourself into a lather.
Yeah, dude.
You can't de-lather. I get you.
That was fun though. First show in years,
Yeah, man.
which is weird to say.
It's 2 years, yeah. Ish. Whatever. Yeah. Well, we've gone like an hour almost.
You want to go for 2?
Shit, man. Did you think of a story for me and Matt? A one-off 1 hour story?
I can probably improv something, sure.
We could download a little dice app.
Yeah, you
Ooh.
download
We
the
wouldn't even
dice
really
app.
need dice.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, we can technically do it with a coin flip. Did it work or did it not work?
Maybe
50-50 odds.
we'll do that next time. Yeah. Do you guys have any closing sentiments?
I mean, I guess if you want me to like social media the Orbs, and then you can social media South Carlen.
We'll do an intro, and you can
Alright, cool.
drop all that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you guys had options, but you decided to talk to me, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This was fun.
Thank
it was
you
fun.
for being a friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend.
There you go.